Welcome to the Tiny House Show. You may know us from our former podcast, Radio Tiny House, but now we're hosting our own tiny house show from our shed home. But we also peek into other tiny houses and creative living spaces and try to give a glimpse of how it is to live in a tiny house. So today we are headed up to the North Carolina Tiny House Festival, and we'll be certainly showcasing several of the tiny houses there, and we promise you a sneak peek once we get there. But before we hit the road, I'm going to make one of our favorite meals with a new product that we've just started using in our kitchen. Because we're getting ready to leave and I don't want to have a lot of leftovers, which is always a problem when you're just cooking for two, I want to go ahead and just use some of our freeze-dried food. This is Thrive Life's grilled chicken dices, and they're delicious. We've really learned to enjoy their chicken salad, so I'm going to make some of that so we can have a quick sandwich before we go. The other thing that is really wonderful in this chicken salad is the freeze-dried celery. I'm not really a celery fan, but I do like the freeze-dried. It takes away some of that celery tang that I don't love, but I do think it adds some complexities to the chicken salad recipe. So I'm just gonna get some of the celery out. If you can see this, it's kind of large. Too big for my chicken salad, so I'm just going to break that up a little bit. I think breaking it also helps it refresh a little faster. And I only want a couple of tablespoons of celery. Okay, I've just covered the bottom of this because I don't want a whole lot of celery, but I do want that extra flavor. And I'm going to pour a little water over it to let that refresh while I'm getting packed up. Now, the last piece that I'm going to add is seasoning salt, but I've rehydrated these onions. Barry's allergic to onions, and I can't really cook them in the house or have a lot of oniony smell, but I have found that he can tolerate if I make a little bit of onion and rehydrate it, and then I add it to things afterwards. I don't saute them because of the volatile organic compounds, but I do add them and sneak them into my meals to give myself a little bit more flavor. And I'm sorry that he can't eat them, but I love them. All right, we're gonna let that refresh for a little bit. I'm gonna cut up a tomato. I've got some other things that I like to add because I'm trying to eat healthy and eat as many nutritional things as I can. So let me get that done and I'll get back to you with those extra things. So I think that we're refreshed. I have split it into two separate portions, one for Barry without onions and one for me because I love onions. And I'm gonna mix it up. So I'm just gonna make mine right now since Barry's out packing the car. A little bit of mayonnaise, about half the celery, and I'll let him have some celery too. This seasoning has onions in it, so he can't have that either. I'll sprinkle a little bit of that on there. Look, it's got pepper and different kind of seasonings and flavors. And then I'll add a little bit of onion in here. To give that little bit of pop of flavor to the chicken salad. I do have this lovely dark sourdough bread that we found at our grocery store. Okay, so this is about a half a cup. Maybe it's a little too much. Of course, I can make do and eat it if I decide it's too much for my sandwich. I'm going to add some tomato to that and some avocado slices because I love avocado. And then I have been trying to incorporate sprouts into my life. And I do have some sprouts I grew in the windowsill. I'm trying to grow my own food as much as possible. And I have a tiny house, so not a lot of spaces to do that. But I am going to add some of my sprouts that I grew this week on the top. There you have it, my sandwich and a meal. And let's cut this in half and see what we think. That chicken salad, the tomato, the sprouts is falling out of the back. It's delicious. I can't wait to eat it. We are having a sale in April. It's the largest sale of the year for Thrive Life. And I want to be able to let you know about that in case you decide that you want to try some of the Thrive Life foods too. So keep watching the rest of this month, and I'll try to give you updates as I know more. Good. I have learned that I like fats with sprouts, so avocados are delicious. Hope you can enjoy, think about Thrive Life or any other freeze-dried food, because this does give us a lack of waste. It does give us the opportunity to have it handy, because I didn't really have anything ready for today. And now we're headed off to that Tiny House Festival, and we'll report back.
Well, we finally made it to Concord, North Carolina, to the Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Carolina Tiny House Festival. And this is the inside display area where Beth and I are set up. It's been pretty well attended, which is nice. This was our booth, our home away from home, if you will. We've got our computer set up so people can watch our latest videos, and we had our Thrive Life samples out. This was one of the tiny houses that was available for people to look at. There wasn't much to see on the inside because it wasn't finished yet, but it was a great example of what a clean slate you have when you build a tiny house. Here I am talking to a few interested young ladies about tiny houses and about Thrive Life too, probably. This is another example of a tiny house. We were not able to tour this one. We had an appointment set up, but because they got so busy so quickly, 5 minutes after this, there was a line of about 500 people out there, and it stayed that way all day, so we didn't get to complete our interview. But this is what it looks like outside. And here is just a little bunkie that they've made. It's a bunkhouse for maybe 1 or 2 people. This one is not really tiny house related, but it is just one of the vendors that was there selling to the tiny house crowd, if you will. It was a very interesting shop, lots of interesting clothes for women, nice people. Everybody that was there was just exceptionally nice. Met a great carpenter. We're thinking about having him come to our place to build a tree house. And it was just a good time, I think, was had by all. There were also a number of buses there that had been converted into tiny homes. And this one was a former NASA tour bus. Don't remember if it was at Cape Kennedy or if it was at Houston. But the name of the bus, I think this is great, is Buzz Lightyear. How appropriate for a space bus. We also got to tour a bus. I shot some video of it and did an interview with the folks that own it. It's called the Beers Bus. It's a beautiful blue bus that was converted. And this young couple and their wonderful dog live in their bus. And we are going to feature that in an upcoming video. This tiny house is the Atomic Tiny House. And we're going to be doing a tour of this in an upcoming video, probably our next video. And we're not going to show the inside of it right now because we want to keep you in suspense. This house is a beautiful home. It's so well made. It is cute. There's lots of great touches in it. And it's just something that I think you're going to really enjoy seeing, but not today.
Thanks, Barry, for those great tours. I hope you guys enjoyed that sneak peek. While we had an amazing time and got to meet a bunch of you, we are really glad to be home. But since it's Tiny House Festival season, we'll be on the road again, and we're headed to the Georgia Tiny House Festival this weekend. So we'll have a whole lot more videos to show you. And oh, by the way, if you haven't had a chance to check out our very first video on this channel, you'll find that right here. Or maybe it's there. I'm never sure. Someplace it'll be there. Well, we had an amazing... I'm sorry. Hang on, just leave it. Okay. Let me collect myself. You are no help. You are no help. I can't record with you doing this. Go away, you goofball. All right. All right. Oh! Oh, Lord. Go away. I love you.
Outside. Come on.
Go outside.
Let's go outside.
For just a few minutes. That's like 5 minutes. My goodness.